Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Takeaway Tip Tuesday. I am your host, Ramona Remisat. I'm an intuitive success coach, angel therapy practitioner, speaker, and co-author of the Amazon bestsellers 365 Days of Angel Prayers and 365 Ways to Connect with Your Soul. And thank you again for tuning in and watching. As I said, we're here with another episode of Takeaway Tip Tuesday, the weekly web show that I do that's interactive. And today is Tuesday, May the 9th. And today I want to share with you something that is very juicy, and it has to do with law of attraction. Now, don't moan and groan. A lot of people have now heard of it thanks to the book and the movie The Secret. And so it's pretty much not a secret anymore. It's kind of a household name, but a lot of people are complaining, saying it doesn't work, it's a bunch of mumbo jumbo, and basically that's because they're getting in their own way when it comes to the whole thing. And today I want to clear up some misconceptions about it, and demystify what it is that you're probably doing wrong that's screwing up the law of attraction for you, and that's getting in the way of you manifesting what it is that you truly want. So before I get into today's content, I just want to give it a minute and see who else might be popping in. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you so much for watching the replay. Definitely share this out after too if you think of others that would enjoy the content, because like I said, a lot of people have kind of given up on law of attraction, thinking that it doesn't work or that they're doing something wrong and they don't know what that is. And we don't want that to happen, because it is very real. It is very powerful. When you know how to use it correctly, it can completely be a game changer for your life, for your business, for whatever it is that you're trying to draw into your life. So the general premise, if you will, of law of attraction, which you probably know, is, what you think about gets returned back to you, right? But that has left a lot of people going off thinking, oh, I can just think some happy thoughts and this bag of money is going to magically fall from the sky into my lap, right? Or somebody's going to phone me, my phone is going to be ringing off the hook with, offers for my dream job, right? Or, all of a sudden you're going to walk out to your car and Mr. Wonderful is going to be just standing there waiting for you. And as we know, that's not really how the world works, right? Yes, thoughts are super important. I've shown you before my sticky note here that says thoughts become things, because that's absolutely true. And I keep it here always to remind me to mind my mind. But, there's more to it than that. So law of attraction really is about more so the emotion that you're feeling versus what your thoughts are. But they do go hand in hand, right? One isn't without the other. We got some people coming in, so feel free to say who it is, where you're from. And I was just sharing that today's topic, I'm going to be talking about the law of attraction, but more importantly, how people really get in their own way with it all, and why they're saying it doesn't work, or maybe that they're the exception to the rule. That's not the case. It's very real, very powerful, as I've said, but there are some things you need to know. So I'm going to demystify some of that. I'm going to share some pretty juicy stuff, so stay on, and I hope that you will find it helpful. You can comment, give me some thumbs up, give me some hearts if you enjoy this. So we were talking about emotions, how emotions really are the key, right? Because when we have an emotion, all emotions have a frequency or a vibration, right, that we emit out to the universe. And so the high vibrating emotions are the ones that the universe grabs right onto and wants to send more of that back to you, right? So I want you to think, and maybe if you have a piece of paper or pen, go grab one right now. I'll give you a second to go do that and have that, because this is going to be really helpful for you, okay? So take your piece of paper and split it into two columns, okay? So the column on the left is going to be the emotions that are associated with manifesting, right? And I'm going to go through, there's a whole bunch. I'm going to read some because I don't want to miss any, okay? So the first grouping, you can put number one, the first grouping that are like the highest vibrating emotions that you, as much as possible, want to be in that zone are things like, and you might even guess, right? Love, appreciation, gratitude, joy, trust, and faith. Okay, so those, when you feel, when you're feeling joyful, right, or you're excited about something, it's like you're vibrating, right? You're so happy and joyful and you feel good and you have gratitude for things, right? That is just so powerful. Okay, so that's number one. The next one is passion. Kind of follows the same way. When you're really passionate about something, again, that's an emotion that has that high vibration that it's almost like nothing can hold you back from getting what you want, right? So that's also emitting very, very powerfully, very strongly into the universe. Then we have things like enthusiasm, eagerness, and happiness, right? Then there's the emotions of belief and positive expectation that you truly believe that what you expect you will get. Then there's optimism, there's hopefulness, there's contentment. Okay, so all these emotions, like I said, have a vibrational frequency that when you are experiencing that, you are like that high frequency radio transmitter just going nonstop. And the universe is going to be like, ooh, there's something good, there's something good, there's something good. We're going to respond to that and bring you back more reasons to be excited, passionate, joyful, content, all of that, okay? Now on the right column of your paper, these are all the emotions that are not going to allow you to manifest very much or manifest more of the things you don't want is actually what happens. So things like boredom, right? Pessimism. Then we have this is a grouping, frustration, irritation, impatience. Those ones kind of all go together. Overwhelm, right? We don't often think of it, but we're in it a lot. If you're an entrepreneur, you're starting out, you've got a lot going on, you're trying to figure everything out. There's overwhelm, right? As a mother, parent, there's overwhelm. If you work in a busy, stressful job, there's overwhelm, right? That's an emotion and it's holding you back from manifesting. Then there's disappointment, right? Things don't go so great. Maybe, a plan or a project that we had, you didn't get the desired outcome, there's disappointment. Then there's doubt, right? Every time you let the head kick in and tell you, maybe that isn't such a good idea, or maybe I'm really not qualified for that, or I don't know, that's doubt. That will also slow things down. With that often comes worry, right? We have a lot of worries, and worry is just going to take everything you're doing and just shut it right down, right? It really does not serve you in any positive capacity at all, except for waste a lot of time thinking up scenarios that most of the time never end up happening anyway. So it's like days, weeks, months of your life that you won't get back again from worry, okay? Next one is blame, right? We get into blaming. And that also is an emotion that has some pretty prickly vibration to it, okay? Then following that, we have discouragement. We then have anger and resentment, which go together, right? When we feel those emotions. Revenge. Obviously, that's not really a positive, any kind of an emotion. Hatred or rage, right? Again, you can see these are getting stronger as we go on. Jealousy. Then there's another grouping, insecurity, guilt, and unworthiness. Hi, Trish. Thanks for joining. I'm kind of going through some emotions. We'll recap this in a minute. And then the worst emotions that we can express that really hold us back from manifesting are fear, grief, depression, despair, and powerlessness. When you are feeling those emotions, you are shut right off. It's like, no, you're not going to be able to manifest or draw into your life any of the stuff you want. So really, the law of attraction, like I said, it is not just thinking happy thoughts and everything's going to be great. It's more tied into your emotions and what those are telling you. Because your emotions are going to drive your actions, and your actions are going to drive your results, right? So again, on the left-hand piece of paper, that's where you're going to write all the high vibrating emotions, the ones that are powerful, emit a very powerful vibrational frequency, and those are things like faith, love, joy, appreciation, gratitude, passion, enthusiasm, eagerness, happiness, positive expectation, belief, optimism, hopefulness, and contentment. That's the juicy stuff. That's what we call the vortex. When you're in the vortex of those emotions, you are just, universe, bring me more, bring me more, bring me more of these good feelings, okay? Everything else is on the right-hand side. The boredom, the pessimism, the overwhelm, the frustration, the disappointment, the worry, the discouragement, the blame, revenge, resentment, insecurity, guilt, fear, depression, despair, powerlessness, all of those, right side of the page, okay? So this is something you may want to print out, get laminated, and put it up in your office. I have it. It is right here. I'm reading from it, so I made sure I didn't miss any of these emotions. Okay, and as you go through your day, get really good at checking in and thinking, what emotion am I feeling? Okay, now you've probably heard of a lot of people who have a morning ritual or a morning routine that's sort of the same way they begin every single day, and it might be things like exercising, writing in a journal, meditating, maybe it's reading some self-development material, something like that. And if you think about that, when you're engaged in all those activities, pretty much you're on that left side of the paper, right? You're feeling happy, you're feeling joyful, you're passionate maybe about what you're doing, right? So you're emitting immediately those things as you start your day. You're setting yourself up on a very high vibrational frequency. So before you even begin anything else in your day, you're already at that level, okay? And that's why people who are successful do those morning rituals, right? If you're grumbling and moaning and groaning and you get out of bed and you stub your toe and you're like, today's gonna be awful, and you're already like, your brain is already going and you're feeling overwhelmed and you're worried about your presentation at work and all of these things, and you're like blaming your coworkers because they didn't get something to you that you needed, and you've got resentment for your spouse because they're not picking up their end of the bargain, and doing stuff around the house, and you're kind of got this whole swirling mass of those kinds of emotions going on, and then you start your day. Where do you think that's going to lead, right? And I went to a conference, and it was a Fabienne Fredrickson mindset retreat, and she has this phrase which I love, and she says, do not effort outside of the vortex, which means do not begin your day, do not put any effort into anything, do not sit down at your computer to start any kind of work until you are in that good place, in that vortex. So whether that means you just need to take a few moments to think about, the previous day and what you were grateful for, to lift you up to that vibrational frequency of gratitude, or maybe it's looking at a picture of loved ones or a pet or something that's going to fill your heart with love. Maybe it's speaking to somebody around you and saying what you appreciate about them, or going back and reading some nice notes or things that people have given you about what they appreciated about you, right? Tapping into that vibration of appreciation. All of those things will set you up on the very high frequency and get you set up for the day. And then you begin your efforting or your work or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Okay, does that make sense? I hope this is making sense. Please, somebody give me a thumbs up or something to let me know that this is resonating. But this really is the trick, to law of attraction. It's not just thinking happy thoughts and, like I said, bag of money is going to fall in your lap, right? Of course, we have to put effort in. But again, our efforts are determined by our emotions, right? How you're feeling is going to really impact what efforts you're taking. Trisha's saying it's a good reminder to set a positive routine every morning on your drive to your new contract that you're starting. Yeah, instead of getting all up in the stress about it all and everything. Exactly. And again, it doesn't mean you have to have this big, long drawn out ritual that you do every single morning, right? It could be simple. It could be, like I said, starting your day with gratitude, just thinking of 3 things from the day before, right? That's going to lift your vibration. Or, I don't know, if you have a pet, snuggling a bit with your pet in the morning before you get out of bed, that's going to fill your heart with love. It could be anything. If you do want to get up and you have a whole meditative practice, that's great too. or like I said, journaling, doing some yoga or some kind of exercise in the morning. That's a great thing too. So it's just finding what works for you and making sure that you kind of keep it going, keep it consistent. And notice as you keep it consistent, what comes from that? Do you find that you get better results when you start your day off on that note versus when you don't? Probably, if you examine that and you had some records to look back on, you'd probably find that your better days are the ones where you did start on a higher vibration. Okay, so that's what I wanted to clear up. I wanted to share that with you guys so that, I don't hear from people anymore that, oh, law of attraction, it doesn't work, or it doesn't work for me, or whatever, right? It's not that. Okay, thank you, Trish, for tuning in. I appreciate you taking the time. Share this out with anybody else that you feel might be interested, or this could help, because like I said, law of attraction is great. It's gotten a lot of buzz, and people are understanding it more because of The Secret, but it's a little bit more involved, right, than what The Secret kind of talked about. It really being about the thoughts that you think, and that is part of it. But it's more so that you focus on those emotions. So take time to write them out. If you came in partway through, go back, watch the replay from the beginning, and I'll take you through a list, both of positive and not so great emotions, and then you'll be able to know which ones are the ones that are helping you manifest and which ones aren't, and then keep it in front of you, print it out, laminate it, have it where it's easily accessible as that reminder as you go through the day, because we don't really recognize. I mean, if we're really angry or outraged about something, we'll kind of tune in. We're like, oh, I'm so angry about that. But all these other emotions can be very subtle, right? And you can be simmering in them without even realizing it, and not even realizing what that is doing, as far as everything else, and impacting your ability to draw in all the good stuff that you want, right? You want to be a magnet, not a repeller, okay? So I hope that was helpful. Like I said, please share this out. If you're watching the replay, you can also make comments. I'll come back and check them. So even though you weren't here live, if you have a question or a comment, please post those too. And if you want more great resource material, then please subscribe to my weekly blog. You'll get first crack at everything that I have coming up. So whether it's an event, courses, speaking, places where I'm speaking, whatever, you'll know about it first. And you'll also get the weekly blog, which is more great, juicy content, ways to make your life so much easier, working with spiritual tools and practices, and of course the angels. So if you'd like to sign up for that, it's RamonaRemisat.com. Oh, thank you, Trish just shared my video. Awesome. It's RamonaRemisat.com/free gift, because when you sign up, you also get my free video series, which is the 3 essential steps to getting anything you want in life. And I share 3 very simple but really powerful practices that you can be doing that'll really amp up, again, your ability to draw into your life everything that you want, because it's all yours for the taking. It's your birthright. It's not, there are the chosen few who were magically selected that get to have an amazing life. It is everybody's birthright, okay? So again, that's at RamonaRemisat.com/free gift. I'll put the link below so that you can check that out. And make sure you join me back next Tuesday for another episode of Takeaway Tip Tuesday. I will be broadcasting at 1:30 Eastern Time, 11:30 Mountain, and 10:30 Pacific. And in the meantime, you can also tune in here Monday through Friday in the mornings and get my daily angel guidance messages. And also love when you comment and share those out too. So thanks everybody. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next week for Takeaway Tip Tuesday.